Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Esports Network for round 8 of the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with Sam Kumar on the cameras, bringing you all the action on behalf of Apex Racing TV. And we're here at the Sonoma Raceway in California, in the United States. And Adam, Sonoma, this is the long layout. This is the more technical version of the track, and one which potentially could provide a couple more overtaking places.
Yeah, indeed, especially at the back end of the circuit, and I'm sure some of these ARLTC drivers will be getting pretty inventive around here. In fact, the NASCAR Cup Series, I think, have just returned to this layout after racing on the different layout for quite a few years. So, to show you what's going to happen, we've got over 40 cars. The World Touring cars used to come here as well, and from what I remember, they put on a decent show here, and we're getting ever closer to the showdown now. So drivers will be starting to have one mind on the race that they're in, and one mind on the points as well, because as we've seen so far in these really short seasons that we've moved to now, the championship standings are a lot tighter as we approach the showdown.
Yeah, just a couple of race meetings to go then before the showdown takes hold. We're very excited for that part of the season, but we've got business to attend to before that. And qualifying well and truly underway. We've had 10 minutes out of the 15-minute session, as you can see on the top left-hand corner of the screen. And it's Ross Balfour who is currently with the fastest time, 138.37, independent driver for Core Motorsports. And Jack Sedgwick just behind him, Adam, and Sedgwick really has been very, very fast this year. And it's a resurgence for Jake Blackhall in third at the moment.
Yeah, Jake Blackhall coming off the back of a very solid race meeting last time out. And he's about up with a third place on the grid at the moment. Jason Cooper as well, he's returning to form as well as we approach the showdown too. And Damien Harris has been backing up the last few weeks with a few decent top 10s in qualifying as well. So since the start of this new Audi, which is almost a year old now in terms of iRacing, since it's been launched on iRacing, we are starting to see a few new names start to enter the top 10. Before that, when we were racing in the Kia, it was a very exclusive club. So the likes of Wojciech Savidovic, the likes of Ash Sutton, and Jack Sedgwick as well for that as well. They're starting to compete against some different opponents at the front now.
Yeah, this grid's just getting closer and closer every single season, and 1.5 seconds separates the top 28 drivers here at the moment, and a lot of them still haven't set their fastest times that are possible. So yeah, you're right, a few new drivers getting involved in the battle for the wins, which is always exciting to see. And we're looking at David Baker now as he comes through the middle sector. And Adam, the drivers turn off of the Cup layout, down the hill, and then onto this reasonably long flat out section into this tight double apex right-hander, which is actually, the second part is actually very tight.
Yeah, we have the choice of hairpins there, don't we? We either have the choice of one, or we have the double apex right-hander that we've got tonight. And it does mean that if you do throw it up the inside into the first one, you do have to be careful, because your opponent could then just slot straight back up the inside on the cut back into the second of the right-handers, and the track really does funnel down into one line after that. So you've got to make sure you get the overtake done before that point. This corner that we're coming up to here, for example, this is a major overtaking spot, and with it being at the end of the lap as well, we could see some potentially race-winning overtakes happening here.
Yeah, as you see a few of them, bit of nonsense going on in qualifying. Not surprised with over 40 cars out there. Some drivers getting slightly blocked and doing some blocking in the final corners as Harris starts his fast lap. He's now in behind Baker. Baker's on another lap, so Harris isn't going to be that pleased, I don't think, that he's staring at the back of the Pure Sim car. Harris having a look almost in the... Yeah, I think he needs to abandon this lap to get a clean one. We know it takes a few laps, Adam, for this Audi for the tyres to warm up correctly.
And we see it in the race as well. Sometimes it can take the best part of, sometimes it's closer to 10 minutes in some of the races that we've had in the past for the times to really start going quite quickly. And if anything, they keep on tumbling as the race goes on. So this 15-minute qualifying session, the drivers don't have too long to get a lap in. And even though we are racing on the full layout here in Sonoma, the lap times are just over 90 seconds, which in an ARLTC car is probably one of the shorter laps that we'll go to on the calendar this year.
Yeah, it's surprising because you look at the layout on the track map and it looks fairly complicated, and might think it's a fairly long circuit, but it's reasonably high speed actually, apart from the maybe the very first section on the top of the hill. Yeah, quite high speed sections, and this is really where you won't see probably any overtaking done through this S's section, but as Adam mentioned, into this hairpin. We're going to see a lot. If you're going to make an overtake here, Adam, you've got to do two things. You've got to make sure you don't get put down the pit lane, and you've also got to make sure you don't hit the tyre stacks as well, because that will ruin your day.
Oh well, just ask Samuel Lebert about that.
Oh.
I don't think we're speaking terms 3 years on from that, or whatever. From when I dumped him into the pit lane in a Formula Renault race, there's a YouTube clip somewhere of that. But yeah, you do need to make sure you listen to your spotter, and if they say car outside, make sure that you don't send them into the pit lane, because it is probably one of the longest pit lanes on the ARLTC calendar. So I'm hoping we don't see any of that. As here is Simon Field, one of the Pro-Am drivers. That is just as close as the Pro-Am title fight at the moment, and he's just come across the line. He remains in 28th place, a key position really. If you know, as a wheel flies off, not too sure what befell him there, but yeah, around this region of the grid, 28th, around 20, top 20 and top 30. If you are in those finishing positions at the end of the race, you are in good contention of being in with a shout of being on pole position for races 2 and 3.
Yeah, indeed, the reverse grid wheel will decide races 2 and 3's order. For those new to the series, welcome, by the way. Good to have you with us. As somebody with a CQR card goes off there, that's Zvidovic trying to come through the hairpin. I think he's going to back off and start another lap potentially. No, he's going to abandon this lap. I think he's going to come into the pits. In fact, because that's the qualifying session over with. For him, he's not going to improve. This is Tim Greven, and he's coming into the final corner right now. We see he's done 3 green sectors, so he'll be looking to improve from his 20th position on the grid. And can he get maybe up into the top 10? If he makes a big improvement, it's definitely possible. Greven crossed the line then, and he goes into, he stays 20th. Would you believe, Adam? He improved in 3 or 4 sectors there and only stayed where he was.
It's a shame, especially with the checker flag. That means he can't improve. Not too much change at the top of the order. I think Wojciech came in with a late lap to go up to 4th, and it means that Sutton has now been demoted to 6th. Here is, coming up to the line, Toby Ward. He is currently in 36th. Is he going to move up any places at all? He stays there with a 1:41. But aside from that, there's not too many more cars out on the circuit setting competitive laps at the moment.
Kip Stevens has just come across. I don't know if I think he was going to come across. Where is Kip? He's not showing on the timing screen, so I wonder if he abandoned his lap, which he could well have. You know what? He's not. Funny thing is, Adam, he's not even on my entry list, but he is out.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Just going over the crest. This is one of those circuits where we need to get to know the corner names, similar to Road America, really. But I don't think Kip's on a competitive lap at the moment. I don't think he's lighting up the sectors at all. I think he's just on his way back into the pits.
Yeah, like I said, he's not showing on my timing screen at all, even though I can see him on the monitor. It's a bit weird, but he's not. Yeah, there you go. A couple of drivers not set a time actually. It looks like Ross McFarlane wasn't able to take part in qualifying, as is Scott Malcolm, Kevin Carlisle, Tyler Vickery. Like they were potentially banned from qualifying. Bram Klaas, then the Belgian, 34th place. See him out on the circuit. He's still going round, but albeit very, very slowly. So it's delight for Ross Balfour, Adam, as he goes onto pole position by quite a bit, actually, quarter of a second.
That's quite a lot in this series. Well, it's that time of the evening where we have to run through the whole grid. It's the one time we do it. Ross Balfour starts on pole position, Jack Sedgwick in second, Jake Blackwell and Wojciech Zvidovic complete a pretty global second row. Jason Cooper, then Ash Sutton, 5th and 6th on row 3, then Damien Harris, Pete Harrod, Jamie Rushworth, former champion in 9th, and Ben Palmer completing the top 10. That is quite a lot of CQR cars in the top 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Josh Thompson 11th, Pete Newman, highest of the AM drivers for the second week running in 12th, Adam Hadfield, then Dave Baker in 14th, Craig Williams, Luke Cooper, Matt Sporger, Adrian Campfield, Mark Woodhouse, and Tim Greven completing the top 20. There's Ben Gregory, he's in 21st, Mark Johnston 22nd, then Adam Hedgecock, Nathan Davis, the Welshman driving for Hesketh Racing now. 25th for Max Bird, then Lee Berridge, Jack Stiles, Simon Field, Anna McNally and Paolo Preto completing the top 30. And then it's John Roberts, Rob Sutherland for Simtech Racing, Sean Gardner, the Belgian Bram Clace, Scotty Angelo from Australia, and Toby Ward, 2 rookies there it looks like, making their ARLTC debuts there. Then it's David Von Breck, Michael Evdoka, Ross McFarlane, not setting a time at the back of the grid. Might be to do with a penalty picked up at the previous round at the Nürburgring. And it's Kip Stevens, Tyler Maxson, Kevin Carlisle, Scott Malcolm, Rob Graham, and set to start at the back of the grid at his home race. It's going to be Tyler Vickery.
All right, well done, Adam, as usual. And just a few seconds to go before the lights will come on. It will be a standing start here at Sonoma, which is slightly unusual for the American circuit. And it's quite a short run into turn 1 as well. It's a very short run into what is actually turn 1, but first braking area of the course is not too far away either. So we'll see what Ross Balfour will do. I imagine he's going to come right across the front of the Apex car, and we'll see what happens here as the lights are on here and the lights are off and the race is on at Sonoma. It's a good start by a good initial getaway by Balfour. Great second phase by Cedric. He's already up the inside as they go up the hill and into 3. That'll be the first time they have to put the brakes on Balfour. Fairly tentative as he looks to maintain his position, going through and staying fractionally ahead of Cedric. Cedric's going to give it all he's got through the next sequence. Balfour still ahead, but Cedric, he might be able to get this up the inside, Adam, as they go onto the long layout.
Inside, they've been wheel to wheel for the best part of a third of a lap. Wojciech Savinovic has got the best view in the house pretty much of all this. Shame for John Roberts. It looks like he's already towed back to the pits, and Jack Cedric could be hung out to dry now. Oh, he's touched Balfour. Oh no. Well, that's it. The Apex cars split. Ross Balfour, Jake Blackwell's through as well, and fortunately Ross Balfour, the pole sitter, has been able to hold on to him.
Yeah, Savinovic into the lead then, but Balfour, he's not going to be happy with that one. The pole looked like he just got maybe a tiny bit deep into that corner. Oh, Balfour's now hit the Pure Sim car. That might be Ash Sutton. In fact, I think it is Sutton that's gone a bit wide after the contact. So everyone's still filing through this S's section now, and this is the part of the track, Adam, where there's no real passing can be had. Not sensible passing anyway.
Oh, definitely not, especially into this corner. Seen a few audacious overtakes happen here in the past. No runoff area there at all. And now coming up to the major overtaking point on the circuit, the 2 CQR Club cars look like they're going to have an overtake. Sutton up the inside and nearly gets past Balfour. He is past Jason Cooper though, or he's kept Cooper at bay, I should say. And who's that in the? That is Pete Howard and Damien Harris, very close to each other as well as we come through the final corner.
Yeah, Palmer just ahead of them as well. See Harris in the fiercely forward car, the third of the black and yellow machines. And that, up the inside, is the Williams car of Josh Thompson, who is driving for Craig's setup shop in this series, but it's the Williams team livery on that one. Looks very nice indeed, but yeah, he's driving for Craig's setup shop. And Craig Williams is in 15th place, indeed, for his own team. So just at the back of this group there, you see him there.
One of 4 cars not to make any positions in that opening lap. He stayed right where he was in P15. There he is with the red, blue and white stripes, chasing Pete Newman at the moment, who is the highest AM driver in the field currently. There he is.
Yeah, Newman leading that category then. So I think we say this every week, but for the benefit of the new viewers, Newman in the past has fought for the main title. Such is the strength of the field that he's been put in the AM category in the last season or 2. Here's David Baker then, he's in 13th place, former champion of the series back in 2014. And he is trying to make a move on Adam Hadfield, who's really one of the drivers who's come up the last couple of years, really came from the Club Series.
Really has, and has continued to impress. Dave Baker, he's built his title fights over the years on his consistency rather than his race victories, and he's nearly been the champion in quite a few of them. Won season 7, which was back in the back end of 2015, and now we're riding on
3 times or something.
Second to Wojciech in 2016, wasn't he? And then 2017, he wasn't too far off either.
Oh,
he was.
Kevin Carlisle.
Oh no, Kevin Carlisle at his home race.
It's Graven as well. who's around at the hairpin. Now, do we see a move? Do we see Carlisle actually attempting a move? He's going up the inside. Oh no, he's not attempting a move. Oh, Greven hits him. Oh, and they go into the tyre stack.
Oh dear.
And I think that might be, I don't know if that's Scott Malcolm or Kip Stevens who got collected in that, but... Oh, sorry, not Scott Malcolm, Rob Graham, potentially. Oh, off! That's Canfield.
Yeah.
Adrian Canfield. Well, we saw in the ARLTC series that he ended up crashing with James Salt on the first lap the other night, but yeah, another early issue for Adrian Canfield, sadly.
Slow. Oh dear, now there's more contact. That was Paolo Preto coming into contact with, was that one of the TechSense Fitstyle cars? I looked away at the timing screen for just a quick moment.
Well, have been. I couldn't see it on my screen, I'm afraid, that one.
But change of lead. Oh no, it remains, sorry. Wojciech Savinovic at the front. Jake Blackhall trying to get past Jack Sedgwick going into the final hairpin. Is he going to look at the inside there? No thoughts about it there as the cones get kicked up. Those tyre stacks, as we've seen from the replay with Kevin Carlisle, they definitely are solid, and if you hit them, you are going to damage the car, as someone might have done in the back of that shot. I did see a tyre fly off.
And I saw a wheel, yeah, I saw a wheel flying around. I wonder if that's a little glitch at that corner. We have seen a couple of little glitches with the new damaged model that wheels go randomly flying. Josh Thompson sets the fastest lap in 9th position. There he is. He's chasing down the two CQR club cars. Pete Harrod and Ben Palmer are his immediate targets. Thompson, who qualified at 11th. He's not quite he doesn't have the domination that he has in the World GT Championship here, Thompson, in terms of his pace, but he certainly has got a lot closer to the front in recent weeks. And Hadfield now, Adam, is right with another champion, in fact, Jamie Rushworth.
Rushworth back in, was a champion before we started covering the series. Back then they were racing in the Kia Optima. That was front wheel drive. This Audi is front wheel drive. That's probably where the similarities end between them. Round the outside goes Hadfield. Rushworth though, he'll have the inside for the next right-hander, and he's able to make sure that he stays just ahead. Hadfield's got a decent bit of speed, but as he touched on at the beginning of the show, this is very much one line through here. You've got to use the curbs as well. They're pretty lenient on these Audis. Now we plunge down the hill towards the penultimate braking zone on the circuit, really. Flicking the car there. A little bit of braking on the dirt there. That's not going to help too much in terms of the grip, but is Hadfield close enough to lunge it on the inside? No, he isn't. He decides to stay in behind Rushworth. He goes a little bit deep there into the final corner. This might open him up to attack. Yeah,
and he does get a better exit than Hadfield, but it's only fractionally, and he just slots in front. I wonder if Hadfield might have a look up the top of the hill as Ash Sutton goes fastest of all in 5th position. Hadfield, you see though, Adam, he tried to shape up for an inside move there, but the way that approach to the tight right-hander curves round, he just had too far to go.
Yeah, try as he might, he couldn't get by. This right-hander here is very difficult to get an overtake done, but if you do get alongside, you can make it work. Here is Ash Sutton, then, fastest man on the circuit, 1:38.8 on that last lap.
He's got ahead of Balfour indeed, very recent.
Yeah, we did see him keeping Cooper at bay on the opening lap, but since then, he's been able to gain a spot up into 4th. The podium positions and the bubbly are just a couple of tenths of a second ahead, just half a second in fact, to Jake Blackhall, heralding from Australia. Ash Sutton, former British Touring Car champion as well.
The question now is, Adam, is Wojciech Savinovic almost beginning to hold this group up, because he was looking strong at the beginning, but he's now sort of been reeled in a bit by Sedgwick, just 0.4 of a second now. And it seems like he might sort of be not intentionally backing them up, but just as a result of maybe everyone being quite evenly paced.
It's quite remarkable, really, that I look at the championship standings and have to scroll down to see where Wojciech Savinovic is. He's in P15 as someone, sounds like they've clipped the wall. Oh, someone's in the wall. It's Adam Hadfield. Oh no, we were just talking about him. Oh, and he's been clobbered into as well.
That was, it might have been Field who ended up coming in there. Oh, it's Berridge. But let's see what happened to Hadfield then.
Oh no.
Oh no, he clips the...
He got out wide, didn't he? And then clipped
the concrete wall.
Oh yeah, you don't see that happen too often. Got speared across the track. Oh, and then Berridge, well, there's nothing you can do about that situation really. It's definitely not what happened in the NASCAR race last night. I don't think we'll be seeing any middle fingers from Hadfield at all. But he's back in the pits, that's a shame. He'll be hoping for better things in race 2 and race 3.
Might receive the verbal middle finger, potentially. Who knows? But we're on board now with Luke Cooper, one of the leading drivers in the AM category. He's in 15th. Oh, and he's got a bit wide there, and Mike Johnston trying to seize the opportunity. The Irishman up the inside.
Gosh. And that is the Pro-Am Championship leader, demoted a spot. Johnston through. Luke Cooper has a relatively comfortable Pro-Am Championship lead. Of course, all things will change when we get into the showdown, but right now he's got behind him Ben Gregory in 17th place. There he is, the independent.
It was a feisty battle, that was. And yeah, Gregory, who started in 21st, having a good run. Michael Evdoka's actually having a great run. You see him at the back of the shot in the blue Texense Fitstyle Motorsport car. He started in 38th position, Adam. He's made a great start, really tremendous. Oh, and he's going up the inside of Gregory. That's a lovely one. Into the hairpin, great move there. And that's 17th position for Evdoka now.
Yeah, if there was the epitome of an overtake at that right-hand hairpin at the end of the lap, Michael Evdoka's on Ben Gregory would be the perfect one to look at, really. Straight at the inside, made sure he got to the apex and has a fantastic overtake. Here is Nathan Davis. He's got Mads Borger, who was very good at the Nürburgring last week in one of the reverse grid races. Behind him, oh, and who's this? Lee Berridge. Oh no,
Berridge.
He's been touched and there's a wheel flying, and that's Simon Fielder's teammate going through as well.
I think Berridge was being maybe a little bit optimistic there, looking for the inside. Quite enough space, I think, to make that one work. He's going to have to now pray that his car's not too badly damaged, that he can't finish less than 2 laps down and score some points. Ash Sutton then on the prowl. He's got past Jake Blackhall, and now he's off after the 2 Apex cars, Sedgwick and Svidovic. They are the same team. Sedgwick has different colour for his personal sponsorship reasons.
And Balfour is past Blackhall as well. We just saw that at the right-hand head, well, the double apex hairpin at the back end of the circuit. So that's Balfour chasing after Sutton. He's up to 4th place. Blackhall's lost 2 spots in the space of a lap.
Yeah, he has indeed. And well, Blackhall, can he make any sort of recovery on Balfour? Thinking about Michael Evdoka's run, 21 places gained, of course, while we look at this battle. We said it would be fairly hard to overtake here. He obviously hasn't had any trouble.
No, he hasn't. New PBs by personal best from Svidovic, Sedgwick and Sutton. Sutton the quickest out of the top 3 on that last lap. The only driver to remain in the 1:38. But here is Ben Palmer then, trying to get past Jason Cooper, who had a good qualifying, has lost a spot since the start of the race, but that was to Ash Sutton when he overtook him early on. Ben Palmer not going for a move up the inside here, but he's another driver that we see in the top 10 on a regular basis, and here he is again, up 3 places, started just inside the top 10, and here he is riding in 7th with his teammate Pete Harrod behind him in tow.
Yeah, another very decent run for Palmer, who is a good touring car driver in real life as well. Very good indeed. He now is having a look on Cooper. Is he going to send it to the inside? Definitely thinks Cooper has enough room, and just behind them, look, is Pete Harrod, who's trying to get interested. The new World GT champion as of Monday.
Well done to him on that. Driving GT3 cars and driving touring cars. I think there's probably a little bit of crossover, especially in the World GT with the format of that's pretty similar to this. 20-minute sprint races. Well done to Fiercely Forward's Damian Harris as well. The team will be very happy with that. The likes of Paolo Preto and what have you have got a pretty decent driver on their hands now as we approach the showdown.
Yeah, certainly do. Harris, excellent driver. He's shown that in these first few races of the season.
And here's a fight for 15th and 16th, and it is Pro-Am versus Pro. Mark Johnston here in the Drive Doctor's car, and then Michael Avdoka for TechSense Fitstyle Motorsport. We were commenting on how he had been making progress throughout the race, 22 spots gained, biggest mover out of anybody in the field so far. Is he going to go for a move up the inside here and maybe surprise Johnston? There is almost a gap, but he isn't enough alongside to get it done up the up into the right-hander. Now we go into the longer part of the circuit with the hairpin, the descending hairpin here, the left-hander. He looks like he's going to try and set Johnston up here, going for the very wide entry and then late apex to exit the corner. Up to the double apex right-hander then. Oh, he nearly closes well onto the back of him again there. And if you see any of the drivers' names flash up red on the timing tower on the left-hand side of your picture, that means they are off the circuit. So if their name is continuously in red, then something must be certainly up. We have just over 5 minutes to go, and on our timing screen at the moment, the intervals between everybody is just a sea of orange. Everybody is pretty much less than a second apart of one another, especially in the top 10. Here comes Avdoka. We've seen this before, but unlike the overtake earlier, it doesn't work out, or does it? Because Johnston has gone wide on the exit of the hairpin through the left-hand kink. Johnston's trying as much as he can to stay ahead, and it looks like he might just be able to keep Avdoka at bay, but we'll see when we get to the top of the hill.
Can you hear me?
You sound like a robot, Andrew. Familiar sound, yeah. It's one of those issues we had before, I think. I hope the black screens haven't come back. Anyway, oh, Johnston gone wide, has gone wide. Into the fight for the front then. Sutton versus Balfour. A spot on the podium is at stake. Sutton wants to be pushing for the lead, but instead he's got to look in the mirrors and try and find this Ross Balfour 518 right behind him.
How's that?
Oh, we're still the same, unfortunately. Oh yeah, we've got, well, just under 4 minutes to go, and it's Apex leading Apex. The colours might be different, but the team's the same. Wojciech Svirovic with the blue, Jack Sedgwick with the red. Balfour up the inside of Sutton, into the right-hander. Are they going to touch? Well, he's nibbling away at the boot lid. The CQR Pure Sims car. He's not been able to prise the door open to the podium spots just yet as Ross Balfour. Over the line we go then, just over 3 minutes left, which means we are going to still get a few more laps to go here. 39.6 for Wojciech, 39.5 for Sedgwick, 39.6 for Sutton, 39.5 as well for Balfour. Jake Blackwell and Jason Cooper are setting pretty quick times too. Oh, here we go. Balfour up the inside of Sutton, but as we saw with Mark Johnston and Michael Avdoka, that right-hander is almost certainly not an overtaking spot, not unless you just properly send it on your opponent, and then you're risking an incident, and both you going off into the dust and the dirt that surrounds this circuit in California, in Vineyard Country, here in Sonoma, formerly known as Infineon and Sears Point back in the day. Where is Balfour going to get this move done then? He's not going to get it done into this right-hander. Now we're into the section of the circuit which is pretty much one line. It's the descent down the hill. And then you've got the hairpin at the end of the lap. That's where Balfour is going to get the best opportunity to get by Sutton. That's where he's going to have to do it. Are we going to get top gear? He stays in 5th before we go into the right-hander now. Sutton running out a bit more wide than Balfour. That might just slow him up a little bit, but is Balfour going to go for the inside here? They brake pretty much at the same time, take a few cones with them. And C hits him! And he takes the tyre stack with him as well. Oh, and it's caused a massive traffic jam. That's Jason Cooper that's definitely come off the worst for wear there. He's stuck in the tyres, and poor Pete Harrod looks like he's been taken along for the ride as well. Oh, that was avoidable. Balfour clipped the right rear of Sutton's car on the exit of the hairpin. That spun Sutton into the tyre barrier, into the tyre stack, which then sent him back into the path of everybody else. Jason Cooper and Pete Harrod have picked up quite a lot of damage from that. Here's the view from outside of Ross Balfour's car.
Oh.
You sound normal as well, Woody. Hey.
Oh, good. But I mean, just saw that incident there, and yeah, Balfour he was just a bit clumsy, wasn't it? It's right to the back of Sutton, and as those tyre stacks are immovable.
Oh, they most certainly are. It's almost like that bollard at Monaco in F1 2010.
Yes. Oh dear. Yeah, you destroy the bollard at your peril, I think. That could even come back to bite you even once it disappeared. But but Balfour has, as a result of that, got into third. Don't know if he'll keep third, given the fact that of how he ended up with it. But yeah, it's he's certainly on for a decent finish. Look at the damage caused by that incident as well, and damage to the front of Ben Palmer's car to boot. And Palmer, it's very close at him, and he might even have a look into the hairpin.
See if he does it then. Up the inside he goes, and the damaged Audi is staying ahead of Palmer. That boot lid's surely going to start flying open at some point.
No, it's not held on securely.
No, definitely not. And we're starting the final lap of the race as well. Josh Thompson, who in the past he'd been the car that had all this damage, but his car looks pristine as we start the final lap of the race, and he's queuing to get a bit of the bubbly as well.
Oh yeah, he wants the bubbly. There's Thompson. And I wonder... Oh, Palmer. Well, Palmer will have seen what happened to Sutton. Oh, and there's Sutton.
Well, there he is.
And I don't know why he just doesn't. Maybe... I don't know if he could get to the end.
Oh, like a blown engine.
I suppose he'll be just one lap down, won't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, he's blown the engine. And that is why he won't continue. And that'll be down to the damage, surely, the cooling issues.
Oh yeah, we had that in the 24 hours at the Nürburgring. So
the same car, yeah.
Damage that front grille at your peril.
We still won after a blown engine, though.
Yes.
Wojciech Savinovic, well, he's driven a really, really good race. He made those big moves early. I don't know, that was the key for him.
Definitely did. Started.
I mean, he punted thingy, didn't he, to get the to get the lead? But once he got the lead, you know, I suppose he kept it.
Oh yeah, we've seen in these Audis that overtakes at the start of the race are pretty crucial. Poor Balfour, after all that. As long as he can stay in third, it'll probably be damage limitation for him. As Wojciech, I should say, backs it into the final corner, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-2 for the Apex Racing team.
Here he comes then across the line. Wojciech Savinovic wins at Sonoma. He wins race 1. We'll have to see whether the stewards will allow him to keep hold of that. And likewise, Ross Balfour, whether he'll be able to keep hold of his third place. Jack Sedgwick in second, but they've come through there. Thompson, Palmer in fourth, then Thompson, Harris, Blackhole, Rushworth, Baker and Newman is the top 10. Williams very nearly just got ahead of Newman, in fact. Sorry, of Harrod. Oh no! Oh dear! Oh, and the mirror's gone. Oh, and then they've all gone.
This properly disintegrated the rear end of that Automech car. Dear me.
And Woodhouse
he's limping home on 3 wheels or something. Yeah.
Well, like his wheel had disappeared. I think he managed to sort of magnetise back onto the car. But yeah, damaged car for Woodhouse at the end. 31st for him. It's not often you see him down all the way down in 31st, but if he gets on quite as well with the Audi as maybe he did with the Kia.
There are similar traits to Zandvoort about this circuit, and from driving around there, it's a circuit where you've got to find the rhythm, and if that takes a long time, then it is going to be difficult to get those overtakes done. And here comes Tyler Vickery. Going to do the reverse grid in a moment. I wonder if Tyler Vickery could be a contender for it. Anyway, he comes across the line in 39th place. Ross McFarlane only 38th. Not too sure what happened to Ross in that one. I thought he'd be flying up the field after serving his back of the grid, but
yeah, just the one position gained, in fact, from where he started.
The robot Woody's back. Wojciech Savinovic, you could mistake him for a robot. That was a dominating drive from him once he got to the front of the field. And Jack Sedgwick and Ross Belfort do complete the podium. Right, before we run you through the finishing results then, in a change to what we usually do, just so we can get the sessions up at a quicker rate and whatnot, we are set to do the reverse grid. So every week for race 2 and 3, we have a wheel of fortune, we spin it, there are numbers on a disc, and whatever number we land on is the amount of cars we will reverse. If it's a -1, that means full -1, so it stops people dropping to the back just to get a good reverse grid pole. So Sam, over to you, the man on the cameras. Let's find out who's going to be starting at the front for the second race.
Yep, the wheel is already spinning and we land at number 15.
15. Now that is not much at all. That is Ben Gregory. He's going to be on the pole for race 2. Michael Evdoka, well, is overtakes through the field, 24 of them. I've been rewarded because he's going to be on the front row. Mark Johnston in 3rd, Pete Harrod in 4th, and Craig Williams in 5th place. So that is how they are going to look for race 2. And now we've got the race results up on your screen. So a 1-2 for Apex Racing team. Ross Balfour, I guess in the end, with that crash with Sutton, 3rd place is not the end of the world. Ben Palmer in 4th, then Josh Thompson in 5th. Damien Harris getting fiercely forwards, probably their best finish of the season so far. Then Jake Blackall, Jamie Rushworth in 8th, his teammate Dave Baker 9th, and Pete Newman completing the top 10 there. Then it's Craig Williams, Pete Harrod, Mark Johnston in 13th for Hesketh Racing. Then it's Michael Evdoka, Ben Gregory, Luke Cooper, and Jason Cooper with all that damage. The 2 Coopers there, 16th and 17th. Then it's Simon Field. Good job there by the Boosted Motorsport car to gain 10 spots. Nathan Davis in 19th and Jack Stiles completing the top 20. And it's Rob Sutherland, Simtech Racing there, starting to climb the order. That's one of their better results. Scott Malcolm in 22nd, then Lee Berridge, Scotty Angelo in 24th, Rob Graham from Scotland in 25th, then Adam McNally, Tim Greven, Adrian Campfield, Max Bird, Sean Gardner, Mark Woodhouse, Paolo Breto for Fiercely Forward, then Adam Hedgecock, Bram Clace, Kip Stevens there in 35th, Toby Ward 36th, and then the cars a minute behind, Tyler Maxon, Ross McFarlane there in 38th place. Tyler Maxon, our Apex colleague. So Tyler Vickery 39th, there's Ash Sutton, 1 lap down in the end. He will still score points. If you finish 2 laps down or more, then you get 0. Like these guys, Matt Sporger, David Von Breck, Adam Hadfield, Kevin Carlisle and John Roberts out on the opening lap of the race, so he'll be hoping for better things in race 2. Right, we will take a short break then on the iRacing Esports Network and on Apex Racing TV, and we'll be back after the break for race 2 here in the ARLTC Championship.
Welcome back to Sonoma in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship, live on the iRacing Esports Network. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath bringing you the commentary, and Sam Kumo bringing you the cameras for Apex Racing TV here at Sonoma Raceway in the United States. Adam, race 1 was very, very good. We had a small reverse grid though. Who do you think that's going to favour in race 2?
I think it will favour the guys that were quick at the front in race 1, because it means they don't have as many cars to overtake to get to the front now. So we'll see how far they can get up the field. They're definitely intrigued to see what Michael Avdoka can do. He gained 22 places in race 1, and his reward for that was a spot on the front row of the grid for race 2. So if he can get past 22 cars, I wonder what the guys that were at the front in race 1 can do. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what progress they can make when we get cracking here. Not too long at all.
Indeed, and we're going to get cracking with the grid. Indeed, and Dave Baker is on pole position. Alongside him is going. No, it's not. Indeed,
those are the practice standings, were they?
There we go. Ben Gregory's on pole position. Michael Avdoka in second. Mark Johnston is going to be third, ahead of Pete Harridan and Craig Williams in fifth. Pete Newman sixth. Dave Baker seventh, ahead of Jamie Rushworth, and then Jake Blackhall in ninth, and Damien Harris in 10th. Josh Thompson is 11th, ahead of Ben Palmer. 13th is Ross Balfour. Jack Sedgwick is 14th, and race 1 winner Wojciech Savinovic is in 15th place. Well then, we're just about ready to get underway again for the second time as the rest of the grid cycles through on your screen. But we're just about ready for the lights then. Here we go. 5 red lights, and when they go out, we'll be racing here at Sonoma. The lights are off and the race is on. The flag man goes mental on the standers. Gregory also gets a brilliant start, and he gets ahead of him. Avdoka gets a great start ahead of Gregory. Straight away, Avdoka's form from the first race coming through and starting in the same vein that he finished that one. Johnston into third ahead of Harrod. Williams in fifth. Williams coming under pressure though from Pete Newman.
Over the top of the hill we go then. There's the quick guys from race 1. They are already trying to get their way through the field. They're side by side in some cases. Ross Balfour's wheel to wheel with that's Ben Palmer, and Jack Sedgwick and Wojciech Savinovic aren't too far away from one another either as we go into the infield section. Jason Cooper trying to get past Wojciech Savinovic as well, sorry.
Sedgwick being taken then by Palmer, or at least trying to take Palmer, I think. And then Palmer now is going to surely defend the inside line into the hairpin. Sedgwick trying to go all the way around the outside. Palmer holds his ground on the cleaner line. And now going through the S's, they're going to have to sort this one out. As they're still side by side, Adam, but it looks like Palmer. Palmer thought he had the high ground there, but he's still going to have the inside for the hairpin if he can stay alongside Sedgwick. But the question is, can he? And no, he can't.
Into the hairpin we go then. Wojciech
Savinovic.
Yeah, straight up the inside of Palmer, and watch out for those tyre stacks. We've seen quite a few drivers get caught up by them so far tonight, and it looks like he's got the move done. So that's Wojciech Savinovic, race 1 winner, almost. Oh, he's been hit. He wasn't clear enough, but thankfully he's able to stay ahead.
Yeah, just about keeps it. Avdoka then extends his lead. He's in front by 1.1 seconds. Oh, and that is Palmer up the inside of Savinovic. And Cooper takes advantage and also goes through then into 15th place. Savinovic down to 16th. Gregory and Johnston very, very close together in the battle for second. Johnston is getting harassed by Harrod as well. So let's see then if Gregory, who's running as an independent in this series, can stay ahead of Johnston. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, Johnston and Harrod.
I think that was just about fair. Both of them wheel to wheel at that point. It wasn't as if Pete Harrod bumped his way to get past. He was up the inside at that point. Is Johnston going to return the favour potentially at the inside here? No, he doesn't. But Gregory is the next victim on Harrod's card. He is just a couple of tenths of a second ahead. There he is in the white and green car. And then Michael Avdoka is just starting to edge clearer now. He's got a 1 second lead.
Yeah, Docker, I believe, with the flag of Northern Ireland on his car, the Irish flag on the timing tower. I'm not going to get into the complications of any of that, but if Docker leads the way, then, and he's pulling away nicely from Gregory. You can see how he's looking very, very nice and calm indeed, and car doing everything he wants it to do at this point. Pete Harrod having a look now at Gregory as he's dispatched Johnston, who's now coming under pressure from Williams. And Dave Baker's in sixth position, Adam, which is always a nice sight to see.
In his customary sixth spot. He's already gained a spot to be there, but I'm sure he wants to push a little bit higher. Fastest driver on that last lap was Jack Sedgwick at the end of lap 2. And behind Baker is Pete Newman, highest Pro-Am driver in race 1. In race 2, he is the third of them, with Gregory leading the way there, Johnston second, and then Pete in P3. And he's got Jake Blackwell, who was pretty quick in race 1, right behind him. If it wasn't for that run-in with one of the walls earlier, Blackwell could have been even higher. But right now he's doing a good job back in the top 10. And he's trying to get by Pete Newman.
I don't know about you, Adam. I'd be quite happy if I finished 6th in every race, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely enhanced my average finishing position, that's for sure. And here comes Craig Williams having a look on Mark Johnston. This is on the outside. Johnston late on the brakes as he tries to stave off Williams, but he can't do that. And Williams goes through into 4th position. Meanwhile, Harrod was having a look at Gregory, and Harrod's car dancing all over the place as he tries to get through. This is a battle between Harris, Rushworth and Jack Sedgwick. And Thompson and Balfour coming to blows. That's going to be a good one.
Look at the way they attack that penultimate corner. Looks like there might be a move shaping up just in front of them. That is Baker up the inside, and Mark Johnston's just been rammed into by
Newman.
Pete Newman, yes. So a bit of late braking going on there, you could say.
You can see where, you see by the damage on Johnston's car and the damage on the front of Newman's car exactly what's happened to them.
Oh, good grief.
Both the same shape of damage. Palmer sets the fastest lap then, 139.84, 14th place. Blackwell looking back then at Pete Newman. You can see the damage caused to that Sim Sports Racing USA car.
Just hope his engine doesn't carry the same fate that what happened to Sutton at the back end of race 1 there. So most of the time
Sutton, well, we've got 3 guys charging through the field as it happens. Ross McFarlane is in 22nd place, Ash Sutton is in 23rd place, and then Adam Hadfield's in 24th place, and they started 38th, 40th and 43rd respectively. So they've had a great run so far, Adam, not without a bit of contact, it looks like, for McFarlane at least.
So right hand, there we go. It looks like there's an Audi-shaped hole in the back of McFarlane's car there, and interesting to see why McFarlane was so far down the order after race 1. But here he is in 22nd place in race 2, and Sutton, if these two carry on at this rate, then even if they don't maybe get such a high finish in race 2, they should be in contention for being towards the front end of the grid for the final race of the day.
Yeah, definitely, and they'll be wanting to get into whatever as good a position as possible. Look at this at the hairpin. It's Williams, and Williams is trying to get through on Gregory on the inside. She's going to turn into the outside, in fact, for the first real corner of the lap. First legitimate braking area. Here it is, and Gregory stands his ground. Does it very well. Williams now getting pushed on by Pete Harrod. It's Harrod trying to make some kind of a move himself, trying to forge an opening, but not able to do so. Williams placing his car quite well. And this is the problem, Adam. We say this every week, isn't it? If you try and come out of line to make a move, look at all those drivers just waiting there for you to make a mistake.
Yeah, if you do run wide of this circuit, you are in danger of losing half a dozen spots at least. The interval screen on our timing screen is just a sea of orange, and in most cases red. Most cars are separated by less than 0.2 of a second, which is remarkable.
Yeah, this is the battle for 3rd place. It says 4th, but class is told back to the pits. So here comes Johnston. And oh, bash into the wheel arches of Johnston goes Harrod, and Harrod goes through. Blackall's the next one in line to try and get through on Johnston. His pack split up a little bit now. You can see in the background. Actually, that was Ben Palmer and Jamie Rushworth going at it with Wojciech Svidovic, which looks like a great battle as well. Blackall, what's happened to Blackall? He's off. He's back on, but now he's 3 wide at the hairpin with Sedgwick and Harris.
Oh, wow.
Harris is on the inside. Oh, my word. That's close, mate. That is very close.
You're always in danger if you're on the outside of that hairpin of just getting caught up in someone else's accident. Here we are, fight for the podium spots, is it? It's Williams versus Baker.
Williams is out of control. Oh, he manages to sort of corral the back end of that car. They wanted to break away from him to the top of the hill. Baker still involved in the action, trying to get through.
This is what we love about the ARLTC as well. I think we've got 5 different teams represented in the top 5. We've got Avdoka for Tech Sense, Fitzstuypen, Gregory running as a privateer here. Craig Setup Shops, Williams in 3rd, then Dave Baker for Pure Sims in 4th, Harrod for CQR Club in 5th, and then Mark Johnston for Hesketh Race. I think it is Hesketh Racing in 6th.
Yeah, Avdoka has had everything his own way so far. He's 4 seconds clear, but that's why we're not showing him, sadly. But this is the battle for 2nd position. As you can see the teams of the drivers there on the timing tower briefly. But yeah, this is brilliant jockeying for position as Newman and Balfour then going side by side. They're just ahead of Thompson. Thompson doesn't need an invitation, Adam. He'll certainly try and make something happen if he can. As will Jack Sedgwick, in fact. Let's look at that. We're getting a close-up view of what's in the back of the Audi. And it's not the weekly shopping.
Oof. Very good. Oh, there's going to be a massive... Yeah, there's a massive... Yeah. Concertina there at the hairpin.
He did in fact hit Newman, did Thompson there, but just a light tap won't damage the car, it doesn't look like. Sedgwick having a look on Thompson. Looks like this will be a good battle if it comes to fruition. And behind them, Harris having a look on Blackall. I wonder if he'll be able to try and get anything done there. It looks like Blackall stood his ground that time. Svidovic on Palmer this time. Well, that's Palmer bounces across the curves, loses a lot of momentum. Adam Svidovic goes onto the grass.
He tried to carry all that speed around the outside there, did Wojciech, and it looks like it's worked out to his advantage. He's up into 13th. Watch out for Jason Cooper and Jamie Rushworth here. These two are there at it as we go down the hill.
He is the master, Wojciech Svidovic, and you get the sense this season, Adam, that he's having to dig a bit further down into his bag of tricks in order to... Oh! There's contact between Davies and Cooper. Which Cooper is it? Jason, I think it was. Luke Cooper just behind. Davies around the outside. That's bold. Oh, bang! Take that, he says. And the other Cooper is through.
And who's this arriving on the scene? This is Jack Stiles in the Tech Sense Fitzstuypen Motorsport car. If he can hang it out round the outside, the next corner's a right-hander, but he's just not alongside to trouble Nathan Davis, who plods on his way. Behind him, Sutton and Berridge are going great. Oh,
they got Sutton, and these two got previous, Adam, as well.
Oh,
these two have got previous. Sutton saves the car. Terrific save, it really was.
Is this over yet? I don't know. Into the hairpin we go. Sutton is just lated up on the brakes.
We've seen these two clashing in the past, haven't we? Maybe last season, I think. We've had a couple of ding-dongs. Balfour sets the fastest lap, meanwhile. Very quick lap indeed, 39.2. That's the fastest lap by 3/4 tenths of a second. So great lap by Balfour as he's moving up through the field. If Docker still leads by about 5 seconds. So great job by him.
There he is. Last time around he was...
Sorry.
I was just going to say last time around he was half a second quicker than Gregory.
It's not often we see someone with the lead this big, is it, at half distance of the race? And Avdoka's done a tremendous job. He's just ploughing on, doing his own race, not getting distracted by anything or not losing focus. As that round the outside is Pete Harrod in car number 4. trying to have a go at Baker, and in the end he's ended up getting becoming vulnerable to Craig Williams, but Williams hangs in there just ahead of Johnston, who's still in this group. Might be hanging on a touch, but it's going all right for him. Newman and Thompson behind them, and Sedgwick.
This
Into the hairpin. Are we going to see anything? Gregory sort of defends the middle. That's kind of the best place to go. Sedgwick with a very late dive on Thompson, and he collects him. Also running wide was Newman, but that was okay in the end from those two, Adam, because they realised what the real problem was, and they managed to sort it out just about.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that the worms don't jump out of the can here as we come to the top of the hill. Thompson is just about going to make the corner. Watch out for the fiercely forward car of Damien Harris, who's arrived onto the scene. There he is, and there's a few CQR club cars around him for good measure. That's not going to make it difficult to identify them in the slightest.
Sedgwick's car was dancing around like he was doing the can-can going into the hairpin. And now Svidovic under pressure from Blackhall. Svidovic trying to go around the outside of Jake Blackhall, Australian. Oh, and he's deep on the brakes. Is Svidovic into the long left-hander. That's a nice move there. He's going to be vulnerable to a slipstream coming out of there. And now Blackhall's going to use the longest flat-out section on the course. Try and make a move into this hairpin.
Oh, Blackhall. Drive around the outside there. Wojciech keeps him at arm's length. This just forces him into the path of everyone else behind him, doesn't it?
It's very, yeah, it does indeed. It's very close for second as well.
Oh, just a quarter of a second in it between these two. Now this is the joy of the reverse grid. You've got a Pro-Am driver in Ben Gregory, who maybe in a normal race, like race one, he wouldn't be fighting for the win or a podium, but here he is, keeping some of the quickest guys in the business at bay.
He's a former AM champion, Ben Gregory. It was about 6 years ago, but did win the AM category.
Wasn't on the controller, was it?
He was on the controller in the ARLTC. Yeah, Ben Gregory was. He has tasted the success in the series, albeit in a different guise. Oh, inside! Oh, he thought about it, did David Baker. He really did commit to that move, but sometimes at Sonoma, you just can't get alongside. It is dirty offline as well, and because it's so dusty and sort of sandy in places at offline, it's very much like Laguna Seca in a way. A lot of dirt and dust gets dragged onto the circuit, and means it's offline can be very treacherous.
It's remarkable, really, that right-hander isn't one of the key overtaking points on the circuit. It's because if you're on the outside, you can still try and power around and still hold on to your position. You've really got to be alongside if you want to get a move done there.
Much easier in a rear-wheel drive car, though, I think, than because you lose the front tyre grip, don't you? Trying to do that in these. Oh, Johnston! Well, I think he tried to avoid being overtaken by Balfour, and he ends up accidentally overtaking Williams.
Looking in the mirror and then looks in front and goes, oh my word, I'm up a place, and
contact again, and they're somehow surviving. I don't know how long for.
He's done it.
Oh,
Johnston through into fifth. Balfour looks like he's going to take full advantage as well and move up into sixth place too.
That's tremendous touring car racing, and Newman and Williams have collided. Bit of netcode on display. It looked like Thompson having a think about the move up the inside to the hairpin, but he knows that can end badly. Newman goes very wide. Thompson's going to try and sneak up the inside, and he has done just that. And he gets the drive out of the corner. Now, is he quite clear of Newman? He is indeed, Adam. So up into seventh place for Thompson. That's Davies. How's he ended up there?
That's one of the boosted cars as well. That was, I think, Simon Fields. It's Berridge.
It's Berridge who's had all sorts of interesting times in this race. What on earth? Oh dear. I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, what's quite funny? I mean, who would have expected the car to have spun around like that? Oh dear.
Looks like he's got his rear wing back after losing it.
Here's Tyler Vickery then. And I'll tell you what, Vickery's done well in this race. If he can sort his qualifying out, then he's going to do okay in this series, because his race pace is decent. It's just his qualifying that's not really it's not really there. He's lapping at the same pace as the leaders pretty much on the last lap, but yeah, the qualifying, the one lap doesn't seem to be in it for him at the moment. Mats Borger Anderson's gone through, and Lee Berridge has gone back through as well. Update on Ash Sutton, Adam, and Hadfield and McFarlane. In fact, McFarlane's up to 14th, sorry, 16th, and 17th. It says on the screen, dear me. Smedovic 18th, and then Sutton 20th. So they've moved through very, very nicely indeed. And Sutton, after his brush with Berridge, has survived just enough to stay in with this group.
Look at those gains as well. Hadfield 24, Sutton 20. Especially after what happened to Hadfield at this very corner. In the previous race, Sutton up the inside, late on the brakes. He makes it.
Makes a bit of contact with Hadfield. Hadfield's not averse to a dive up the inside as well when he wants one. But he just stays ahead of the 2017 BTCC champion. I believe it's already 3 years ago, nearly since Ash Sutton won the title. Time flies in motor racing. And it does indeed in this race, Adam, because we've just got 1 minute to go, mate.
It's not long to go at all, really, is it? It's the last lap as well. And there is a fight on for 7th and 8th, and it looks like Sedgwick has finally been able to get by Josh Thompson. But Thompson won't take that line down. He might try and get it back towards the end of the lap. He's within perfect reason to do so. He's only a couple tenths of a second away. Johnston has got Balfour right with him as well.
I'm just going to put this. It's going to be close for Ev Docker, I think, as to whether there is another lap or not. Yeah, I want to see what happens really, because he's got 20 seconds. He's just coming up to the hairpin. I think it might be the last lap. You know, I thought it was going to be very close, but I think there's going to be nothing close about it. He leads by 9 seconds. We've not seen a winner in. We've not seen a winner in the series for quite a while, I don't think, by quite this much. If Doka slows down a tiny bit, I think, just to make sure the checkered flag comes out, and it does indeed, and it waves, or not, as the flagman just seems to have taken his Valium or something.
Don't quickly change your day job.
The checkered flag doesn't wave for Michael Doka, but we can assure you that indeed he has taken the victory. Ben Gregory in second place. Gregory did a great job, Adam, to hang on. Fantastic job. There was a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, and there were a few position changes going on. I think Sedgwick was trying to get by Balfour too, but he wasn't able to stop him in the end. He finishes 7th. Here is a very close scrap. This is McNally and Roberts. Roberts, who didn't finish in race 1, so 31st place, a gain of 14. Good job there for the former king of the mountain, wasn't it? I think he won at Bathurst in
Ring.
King of the Ring. Oh.
Roberts, yeah, Ring.
Yeah. Can't remember who was the mountain. Someone from Boosted may have to fill me in on that one. But here is Michael Evdoka. He doesn't need to worry about anything at all, because he's won, and he won by quite some margin, as he said, 9 seconds. So he will be delighted with that, especially after the overtakes in race 1. That was rewarded with a good starting spot for race 2, and he took full advantage to get the win here in the second race. And I'm sure we're just a few seconds away from finding out who's going to be on pole for race 3 as well.
Yeah, it was a great victory for Evdoka. I think that's one of the most dominant victories we've seen in quite some time. Took the lead at the start, and that was the key, really. He overhauled Gregory in the first few corners, and that was what, well, it was in the first corner, really. Just making a better start than him, and carrying that through all the way to the end. So, yeah, as everyone's pretty much has finished, so we're going to go to the reverse grid wheel, and Sam's going to give us a pole sitter for race 3 in just a moment.
Yeah, we are spinning, and let's see what we get. Hopefully a bigger number this time.
Yeah, it was a very small reversals this time.
It's just about 35.
35.
It was close to 15.
That is a big reverse grid, is 35.
35 is Nathan Davis. So the Welshman who was buried in the tyre stacks at one point is going to be back on pole. Oh, he's going to be on pole. He wasn't on pole at any point. Scott Malcolm 2nd, Kip Stevens 3rd, David Von Brecken, John Roberts is going to be in 5th.
He's going to be happy with that one, is Nathan Davis. I'm sure Mark Johnston, even though he's got 5th place, will be quite annoyed that Davis has managed to get on pole again. we'll see if Davies can do anything about it, as the finishing order is on the screen.
Let's run through it then. So Michael Avdoka wins for Texense Fitztime Motorsport. Ben Gregory, fantastic display to get second place and keep some of the quickest drivers in the business behind him as well. Dave Baker on the podium, couldn't get by. He was 0.3 of a second away in the end. Pete Harrod in 4th, Mark Johnston in 5th for Hesketh Racing, pulling off a fantastic overtake to get up there as well. Ross Balfour couldn't get by him and finished in 6th. Jack Sedgwick 7th, getting by Josh Thompson in the closing stages. Pete Newman 9th and 10th for Craig Williams. Jake Blackwell, the Aussie, 11th. His teammate Ben Palmer 12th. Then Damien Harris, Jason Cooper and Jamie Rushworth in 15th. Luke Cooper 16th. Then Ross McFarlane. A good drive through the field there to get 17th after starting outside the top 30. Wojciech Svidovic 18th. 19th Adam Hadfield and Ash Sutton from the back to 20th. Jack Stiles 21st, then Simon Field in 22nd. Max Bird, then Paolo Preto, Lee Berridge, Mats Borger, Tyler Vickery gained quite a few spots to get up to 27th, did Tyler there. Mark Woodhouse, then Adrian Campfield, and then Adam McNally. The two boosted teammates, John Roberts and David Von Breck. Kip Stevens in 33rd, Scott Malcolm, then Nathan Davis, the pole sitter for race 3. Toby Ward, Rob Sutherland, Scotty Angelo in 38th. 39th place for, scrolling down what's on the screen, that is Kevin Carlisle, then Sean Gardner, Bram Clace 41st, and Tyler Maxon 12 laps down. Tim Greven 12 laps down. Adam Hedgecock out as well. All 3 of those drivers out very early on indeed. I wonder if something happened to them on the opening lap of the race.
Yeah, it could well have done. We didn't see them at all, but we will see. A Welshman on pole position in California. You're not going to really see that very often. So join us again after the break when Nathan Davies is going to see if he can take the win in race 3 here on the iRacing Esports Network and the ARL Touring Car Championship. Welcome back to Sonoma for the final time tonight here on Apex Racing Esports Network for the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. Andrew Woodhouse and Bath with you, and Sam Kumar on the cameras again. And Adam, well, that second race was a small reverse grid, so we had some really tight battling at the front. This time it's going to be more traditional reverse grid with 35 cars reversed, the big one.
Yeah, that's pretty much most of the whole field reversed for the third and final race of the day. Means that after fighting their way through to the front in race 2, the quick guys in race 1 are going to be even further back than they were before. So should make up for some pretty interesting racing. We saw the likes of Sutton and Ross McFarlane, two very quick guys that we normally see at the front in race 1, starting at the back in race 2 and gaining just under 30 places to get towards the midfield. So watch out for them and watch out for everybody else trying to get some positions early on. And here is the grid for the third and final race of the day. It is Nathan Davis from Wales on pole position, with Scott Malcolm from Scotland in second. Kip Stevens in third, then David Von Breck fourth. Then it's John Roberts, Adam McNally, Adrian Campfield, Mark Woodhouse, Tyler Vickery, and completing the top 10 from Norway is Mats Borger. Watch out for fiercely forwards Paolo Preto. He's in 12th place. Damian Harris, who joined them recently, has been doing a solid job for them. Speaking of Harris, there he is in 23rd place. Ross McFarlane and Ash Sutton, who were very quick in race 2, they're 16th and 19th. Wojciech Savidovic, their race 1 winner, in 18th. And the likes of Jack Sedgwick and Josh Thompson, who are fighting near the front, bless me, are there in 29th and 28th place. Here come the lights then.
You did well to get that in time. Here we go then. You ready for the start? I can't see it, I'm afraid, Adam. Sorry.
The lights are out, we're away then. Nathan Davis leads. He's got a very good jump away from the line. Scott Malcolm remains in second place. David Von Breck looks like he's already got past Kip Stevens. Is Kip going to look up the inside? He is a former champion in this series. Former guys, as the cars across the inside of the circuit there. That looked like Jamie Rushworth in the CQR Pure Sims car. He's dropping down the order as well. Look at this, wheel to wheel in the fight for third up the hill. Stevens takes a huge amount of curb and pretty much forces David Von Breck to take evasive action in the process. Kip Stevens' teammate Adam McNally on the inside, and he is through. So great start from Adam McNally, taking advantage, and he's up into third place as Jack Stiles and Max Bird are both stuck together on the infield. What a shame for those two, and it looks like they may just about get going, but here we go. Oh, and it's all kicking off.
Oh dear.
You're back to normal. There's a CQR Club car, that's Josh Thompson in the Williams livery.
Presto off.
Yeah.
I think Baker's off as well.
Rob Graham.
Many of them off.
Cooper as well. Which Cooper though? I'm not sure. I think it was Luke.
Dear me, well, a lot of issues there, Adam, and
oh, it's still going on.
That's a boosted car around.
Wojciech up as well.
Field.
Summerfield, yeah.
Dear me.
There's
Sedgwick, and he's just punted Blackhole. I think he made contact with him to the hairpin. How did all that start then, Adam? I didn't quite see it.
Well, it looked like it began in the carousel. We joined it mid-accident. There's a pink car there, which has got a right front wheel missing, so they are not going to be going anywhere. That is Adrian Campfield that is going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a long way back to the pits from there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Campfield. There's a lot of Ross McFarlane's car looks like it's missing, actually. Bent and badly buckled is the front of the Texans Fitzstein Motorsport car, but Nathan Davis leads the way then. 1 point. I don't know the lead actually, but he's in the lead ahead of Scott Malcolm. 1 second. These guys they'll be loving that crash at the start, won't they, Adam? Because it's giving them a decent advantage. Oh, that's Sutton off with Anderson. He was on the grass there, trying to get by. Oh, there's contact.
Norwegian going into the rear there of the former BTCC champion. Sutton, a man on a mission, really. He's gained 8 spots already. One of the biggest movers is Michael Evdoka, the winner from race 2. He knows how to get around this circuit. He's gained 17 places in the space of a lap and a half.
Sutton's on the grass again, as he seems to believe we're doing a rallycross meeting today. Could well be, who knows. Berridge again, oh dear.
Oh, stop!
Berridge part 3. Oh, Berridge nearly loses the car. He goes a bit wide. Sutton gets a decent exit, but he's not able to get ahead of the boosted car. So this is maybe a bit personal from race 2.
Sutton has got
the fastest lap. Good stuff.
During the break, Sutton has got a Facebook stream going of this. If you want to ride first person with him, you can check that out as well.
Van Broek off.
He's going to get passed by the very severely damaged Ross McFarlane. He's definitely used his car to get forward.
Top of the hill that was for Van Broek. Just seemed to go. If he just went a bit wide, or maybe he got an assistance, but yeah, slowed him down a little bit. Oh, Vickery maybe went into the back of Blackhole slightly, but Blackhole pushed wide, and they're ahead of Williams. Sutton and Berridge are still battling through the S's, which is not the S's, sorry, the infield section. That's what I meant. As Mark Woodhouse having a look at John Roberts into the hairpin. Oh,
haven't seen Mark Woodhouse this high tonight.
Look at that.
It's
there goes Adam McNally up in second place.
Getting past Scott Malcolm. McNally's had a very good start to this race. We saw him overtake Kip Stevens up the inside, very opportunistic, and now he's up into the second place position. And can he catch Nathan Davis? He was a couple of attempts quicker than the Welshman on that last lap.
He's flying, is McNally. He's going really, really fast at the moment. Malcolm hanging on in there in third quite nicely. Roberts is now ahead of Woodhouse. Berridge and Sutton are still battling. Sutton inevitably goes up the inside into the hairpin. We all knew that he was going to try that, I think, whether it was going to work or not. Berridge gets a decent exit coming out of there. Now, is it going to be good enough to have a look? He might have a look, you know, into the top of the... I thought about it. Oh, sideways for McNally.
Oh.
Is McNally off?
He's lost second place.
He is, because Malcolm has got through.
Well, that's it. The race takes another twist then. John Roberts and Mark Woodhouse aren't too far away from these two either, and having a decent scrap as well. Oh, and Roberts, he's got a bit wide.
Well, it also means that Nathan Davis leads by 4 seconds at the moment. Already just on lap 4, but here's, as you say, Roberts, well, Woodhouse going through on Roberts. Roberts is struggling out there, it looks like. He's going quite slowly at the moment. And Ash Sutton is right with John Roberts. Here comes Sutton up the inside into the hairpin, surely.
Oh, he's on the grass as well, top is Roberts.
Roberts has got some problems. Don't know what's happened to the car, but it doesn't seem like it's doing exactly what he wants it to do at this time. On board with him. Yeah, it doesn't look quite right. It looks like it's Understeer City, is that, Adam, isn't it? I wonder if he's got some suspension damage.
I wonder if he picked up a ton of muck on his tyres. Of Matt Borger going for a ride through the dirt in the background there. He's been passed by Wojciech and by Ross McFarlane as a result of that, and I think they might get a little bit worse as Ross McFarlane's gone by, and so too Cooper. And here comes Sedgwick.
Cedric, yeah, is going to demote Borger as well. So Cedric has a look up the inside of all of them into the hairpin and somehow manages to get that one done without causing a collision. That was a brave, maybe slightly foolish dive up the inside, who knows. Automate cars switching positions. I think it's a slowdown actually for Kip Stevens, potentially. Sutton sets the fastest lap then now that he's free of the traffic, 139.2. It's 4 tenths quicker than Woodhouse. He's currently 8 tenths behind him in 5th place as we continue to watch this battle between Cooper and Sedgwick. Cooper up 12 places. In fact, 4 drivers there, Adam, with double-digit gains already.
We've only just passed the 1/4 mark of the race. It's extraordinary as Bram Kleist has come into the pits. Problems for the Belgian. Looks like his race 3 might be over, but Jack Sedgwick, he wants his chance of getting in the top 10. And if Ashton can continue at that pace, I wonder if he'd be able to catch the leader. He's 5 seconds away from just over 5 seconds away from the race leader Nathan Davis.
Yeah, and he could, you know, he's got half a chance, but I think it's only half a chance at the minute. McNally was 0.8 of a second slower than Davis on the previous lap. Let's see what it is this time then, as they almost come over the line now. And this is Sutton diving up the inside of Woodhouse. And that was a nice clean move at the hairpin. So the two team mad cars looks like they're going to struggle to do anything about Ash Sutton, but Sutton might have to be patient at least for a few corners, Adam, because like you said earlier on, it's very, very difficult to get a move done at the top of this hill here.
Oh, and I hear tyres skidding.
Sliding car. Malcolm slides. McNally's gone off again at the same corner. Now this could really work to Sutton's favour here. Goes up the inside, he hits the curb hard, he just about clears Malcolm. Woodhouse is trying to go through, and his teammate as well. And he indeed does. Toast up into fourth for Woodhouse. It's good work there. And Roberts is now alongside Scott Malcolm, and Roberts has now got through into fifth. It's all going on.
Yeah, it's all change. Through the hairpin we go. You can see from the positions on the side of the cars as well. That's when they crossed the line. And Scott Malcolm was in third place at one point. He's now down to fifth. And here comes Wojciech Savinovic onto the scene. He's trying to get by Lee Berridge. Also, Roberts trying to get by one of the team mad cars as well. Wojciech's going to try and take the long way round, and these two are coming to blows. That's Roberts v Scott Malcolm.
Yeah, and it's getting rather busy, isn't it, in the low reaches of the top 10 and beyond, as Roberts slides the car in his pursuit of Scott Malcolm. McNally is now under pressure from Sutton. Actually, look at that. You can see that in the foreground. Just 1/10 of a second between them, and McNally goes wide, and that'll be Sutton through into the hairpin, surely. Yes, it is. I think he would have had a go anyway, Adam. We know what he's capable of. Oh, and McNally almost comes back across on Woodhouse. But Adam manages to just about keep that reasonable enough. And he stays in contention for the bubbly.
Well, the odds are very much stacked against Sutton if he wants to win this. The gap is 6 seconds, and we've got about, I'd say, 6 laps left. So
you're right. Oh, Jason Cooper. There's a problem for Jason Cooper. It looks like.
Oh yeah. Or loads
in fact,
of people.
it looks like there's all sorts going off.
Oh,
oh yeah, there it is.
Well,
that is Blackwell Williams.
Yeah.
They look like they're stuck together. Oh, and it's causing cars to go off around them. Williams was waiting for Blackwell to tow back to the pits, and he didn't do for quite some time.
There's a replay.
We know that the ping in Australia isn't great, but it's not that severe, I don't think. Let's have a look at the replay then. Oh, it's all kicked off in front of them then.
That's Sedgwick.
Is it McFarlane as well?
Yeah.
Maybe one of those.
And well, yeah, it's resulted in Blackwell getting caught up in an incident that started a couple of seconds before he even arrived on the scene, and that's not just because of the ping. That's just a couple of seconds up the road. Well,
there wasn't a great deal he could have done about it, really.
Right, let's see then. This will be our first real indication of how much quicker Ash Sutton is than Nathan Davis, if he is at all. Nathan Davis could be quicker on this lap. Let's find out as we go into the final corner.
See what Davis does then. Davies comes across and does a 139.5. Ash Sutton does 139.0, so half a second quicker that time for Sutton. So if he wants to win this race, he's going to have to get a move on. Nathan Davies has won several races in the past in the in this touring car championship. So you know, he's not a there's no mug out there, that's for sure. Not that the rest of them are either, it's just that's how good Ash Sutton is. Here's Savinovic, and he'll be looking to finish off his meeting, Adam, with the top 5, and he can do that potentially if he gets past Scott Malcolm here. On the inside of the man from Fife, I believe.
Done deal.
It is, well, is it done though? Because Malcolm going to have a go back at the 6-time champion? No, he isn't. Smidovic maintains that position. I know I'm slightly biased on him, but I do love the blue livery of the Apex car. Really does pop on the screen.
I'm a fan of the Team Ad car myself. There it is, a Scott Malcolm in the yellow. Quite a few. Oh wait, no. Forget that. Scott Malcolm.
Yeah. Yeah, it says race spot on the back, so I can take it or leave it, boys. Sorry about that. It's probably Paul Smith's doing, to be honest. As up the inside goes.
It's our stream, not his.
Paul's not even safe, even when he's not in the series anymore. As there goes Evdoka, and he's managed to shove his way through at the hairpin.
There we go. Well, that's me fine. Just over 5 minutes to go then, and here comes Jamie Rushworth. Is he going to try and get that move done around the outside? He was on the grass at this very corner on the first lap of the race. Just not close enough to trouble Tim Grevin.
Oh, William Grevin. Off, and that's Roberts. Oh, no, it's not, it's Van Broek.
Well,
it's the same colour car, for heaven's sake.
Boosted. Duplicated.
Roberts, probably still in 7th.
And there's the rear with no spoiler.
Oh.
He'd be looking right at home in Chaz Draycott's British Boring Car Championship.
It does indeed. He's doing a great Jetta impression out there. Oh dear. Well, some would argue it's just a Jetta anyway. But there you go. That's for another discussion. Evdoka off though at the infield section. Dear me.
Probably for the race 2 winner. That's not what you wanted in this final race. Fight for third is on. There's some bubbly at stake, and it's between Adam McNally and Mark Woodhouse.
Is there some Excite energy at stake? Oh, he's gone wide. Is Adam McNally? I've given him free sponsorship plugs there, but it still might not help him. As my namesake tries to go around the outside of McNally.
Can my namesake hold on to it on the inside?
Oh, Bosch!
Let's just hold on. And this is just allowing Wojciech Smidovic to just reel them in, isn't he? It's just bring it to me, my friends, and I'll.
That's a way to lose 2 places, isn't it? Is invite Wojciech Smidovic into your battle. Let's be honest. No offence to these guys, but Smidovic has been doing it for a long time. And he has been doing it very, very well for a long time. 6 titles on a Thursday night for the Polish driver. Ash Sutton, of course, won the big one in the real life. Oh dear, as that's a bad line there. And that's going to allow Smidovic to get a run. Although Woodhouse has got a run on McNally. I wonder if he's going to try something, because he might need to avoid being overtaken by the Apex car. And Smidovic going the long way around in this double Apex corner. Woodhouse trying to hold his ground on the inside, but Smidovic gets the momentum. He gets to drive out of the corner, and he passes him for 4th position. And as you say, the bubbly would be the next one, be the 3rd position, and that is held by Adam McNally for the Automech AM team. McNally in the AM category. I think possibly he's better than that, maybe. But he's holding station. Oh, and Smidovic has been hit by Woodhouse, and he's very lucky to avoid the tyre stacks. Balfour goes past Cooper for 10th. Meanwhile, in the background, I think Roberts might be in a bit of strife here, because Sedgwick's going through. That is John Roberts, and as you can see, it is a very similar colour scheme to that of David Van Broek, as we mentioned earlier on.
That's possible
again
as well.
Yeah. 3 minutes to go then here, the ARLTC. Race 3 of the day at Sonoma in America.
Just think where we head to next week. Next week will be the penultimate race meeting of the regular season. It'll be at Lime Rock Park.
Oh, there you go. That will be. Oh dear. I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be mental, but it's going to be good. Here's Balfour. We might have to get the yellow flags out for that one, I think. So for the occasion, you know. And Ross Balfour goes past John Roberts. That's been a popular corner to get moves done, actually, hasn't it?
More popular than the first corner, I must admit. We've seen most of the cars.
Yeah, that's
they're
quite a
off.
rubbish overtaking place in a front-wheel drive car. Actually, is turn 1, isn't it?
Now here we go. Ross McFarlane and Jack Sedgwick trying to get by Scott Malcolm here. Might be Malcolm's toughest assignment to date, keeping these guys at bay.
Well, Malcolm's car is very, very clean, but you wonder when you look at Ross McFarlane's car and the car of Jack Sedgwick, how long it's going to stay clean for. To be fair, if you just defend the inside here, Adam, you've pretty much got the defence kind of nailed, and you don't really lose that much time. Malcolm's trying the long way round. He does get a good exit. Is it enough to stave off his fellow countrymen here? Two Scotsmen and a Northern Irishman going round turn 1. There's no joke here, ladies and gentlemen. That's Balfour and an Englishman in that of Sedgwick. So,
Wojciech has lost the place to Mark Woodhouse. He's coming back on the circuit. He's lost 2 places, but now he's
got damaged. Speaking of damage, Adam, Sedgwick's car has seen better days, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. I don't think it's going to. Oh, contact for 3rd. That's McNally off. It looked like he might have been hit by Woodhouse. Woodhouse through into victory.
I think you're right there, Murray. There's McFarlane and Sedgwick continuing with cars best suited for Wreckfest, I think, more than anything else.
Can Woodhouse hold on to his P3? He's got Wojciech Savinovic right with him on the final lap.
Well, bubbly for Woodhouse would be a good headline to write, but I don't know. It's an unrelated article in the main heading. Who knows?
Oh well.
By the way, Davis and Sutton is 2 seconds. He's not going to get there, is Ash, but it's going to be close. I don't think we're going to get another lap, so I think it will be the win for Nathan Davies. And unbelievably, from pole position, Nathan Davies has driven a tremendous race, absolutely perfect, and he wins yet again in the ARLTCR. And on the last lap, this is for the bubbly Savinovic and Woodhouse. I wonder if Savinovic maybe had a slowdown penalty, or maybe he collected him or something, and because it looked like he might have had to let him back past. Oh, Balfour and oh my word! Oh, that's a big one after the line. Wheels missing, bits falling off, and there's Tim Greven coming home ahead of Rushworth. So Greven has done a good meeting, I think. He's definitely showed some pace. Here's Harris with Max Bird. I've certainly seen him very much. Toby Ward having a battle in there with Luke Cooper, whose car is a mess. Look at that.
Oh, well. We're used to seeing inside the rear of the Audi when we go on board with people, but we've got a great view at the front there.
Derek Warren could be proud of the damage on that, I think.
We could have done with that before our engine blew up at the Nürburgring. Only for hours.
Yeah, it would have solved the cooling problems, that's for sure.
Well, I think Wojciech was trying to go around the outside of Woodhouse into the hairpin.
I wonder if we can get a replay actually of the last. See if we can see a replay of the last lap, the last corner for Woodhouse and Savinovic, because it did look. It looked like something had already happened, though, Adam, didn't it?
Well, here we are. This is the start of the final lap, isn't it? Or maybe a bit further back actually. Wojciech's behind him at that point. We'll have to cycle a bit more forwards here. Maybe one more lap.
Yeah, because there was a contact there, wasn't there? With the 1 lap to go. Ah, right. This looks like it's it.
Yeah,
McNally goes wide. Sorry, go on, take us through it.
So Woodhouse up the inside, then McNally brakes very late and tries to get it done around the outside. The 2 make contact. That then sends these 2 off into a battle. Woodhouse here in front of Wojciech, and everybody else carrying on behind, the likes of Sedgwick, Balfour and McFarlane. Wojciech gives him a little nudge there, going through the carousel where we've seen a few overtakes happen tonight. Wojciech using all the curbs and then some of the grass as well on the exit.
McNally, by the way, lost about 8 places and all that.
Oh yeah, he finished 11th in the end. Through the double right-hander. Wojciech gets a good run on the exit of that, but as we've seen throughout tonight, this is very much one-line city through here. You can see him working the wheel as well in this rear shot. Plunging down the hill. Ross Balfour side by side with somebody in the background there as well. Into the right-hander here. So I'm sure Woodhouse is going to very firmly defend the inside line. There he goes, straight over to the right. Wojciech, is he going to go for the left? Yes, he is, around the outside. That's not going to work.
He was just so deep, he just couldn't get any kind of traction at all.
If the straight was a bit longer, it might have worked out for him, but in the end he was just about a tenth of a second behind when the flag fell.
Yeah, great defending by Woodhouse. He really placed his car exactly where he needed to. And I wish more drivers probably would have gone for the inside line there to defend, because it really is a very easy defence to make. So, you know, why lose a position if you don't have to? But there you go. Nathan Davies takes the win then, ahead of Ash Sutton. Mark Woodhouse in third, Wojciech Swiderich fourth, as we just seen. Scott Malcolm in fifth, ahead of Jack Sedgwick. Ross Balfour is seventh, ahead of the other Ross McFarlane in eighth. Jason Cooper is ninth, and John Roberts was 10th. Adam McNally could have been podium finish, and in the end it was 11th after contact on the final lap, as we saw. Pete Newman in 12th, Mark Johnston 13th. He's probably going to be quite annoyed that he got beat by Nathan Davies there. Benjamin Gregory in 14th, Tim Greven in 15th, Jimmy Rushworth 16th, then Pete Harrod, and then Kevin Carlisle with a strong 18th. Ben Palmer in 19th, ahead of Tyler Maxson, our colleague here at Apex Racing, in 20th. Josh Thompson 21st, and then Tyler Vickery 22nd. Rob Sutherland 23rd, Rob Graham 24th, 25th for Simon Field. Michael Evdocker in 26th, David Van Broek in 27th, 28th for Luke Cooper, 29th for Damien Harris, Max Bird in 30th, Toby Ward 31st, ahead of Craig Williams, Scotty Angelo, the Australian, in 33rd, Adam Hedgecock 34th, 35th for Sean Gardner, who I don't think we saw all night actually, Sean Gardner, Dave Baker in 36th, Kip Stevens was one lap down in the end in 37th, and then the cars over a lap down and retired from the race. Lee Berridge, Jake Blackall, Matt Spolger, Bram Klaas, Adrian Campfield, Paolo Preto, Jack Stiles, and 45th and last looks to be Adam Hadfield. Yeah, very interesting race. Very exciting race actually in the midfield, but once again a bit like the last race, we had a winner who had it, you know, reasonably comfortable in the end.
Yeah, not too often we have that in the ARLTC. We had it with Michael Evdoker in race 2, and we had it with Nathan Davis here in race 3. Time running out in terms of us being on air, but we do have enough time to get Nathan Davis in for a quick word. So let's get him in here, and he joins us now for a quick word.
Hello, man.
Oh, hello, Nate. Well done
Good.
on the win. Well, winning again, yes. And
I mean, I just keep fluking these wins. I mean, what can I...
You're not supposed to admit it.
Well, it was the perfect script for you, really. You were able to escape, get a decent lead, and by the time Sutton had managed to get up to second place, you didn't have to worry about him at all, really, because you were so far clear.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at my F3 the whole time at all. No, not at all.
Probably for the best, really. But yeah.
No, seriously, I was sweating buckets. I was like, I just can't. I still can't believe I held on. Ash, I mean, I'm imagining Ash is pretty seething right now to have a Welsh person beat him. So
I don't know. He's got a live stream going, so you can probably go back and see his reaction if you want. But race 3 aside, how's it been out there today? The reverse grid obviously helped, but it looked like you were right in the mix in the 2 races as well. Yeah.
Well, practice was going well. I got myself a strawberry and cream scone out. I set a time, and then my optimum was like 0.8 quicker. I was like, I'm not having that scone until I've gone quicker, you know? And I don't know, I just had scone vision or something. I just could not go any quicker. So it's been sat here waiting. So I'm going to scoff this after this interview now. But yeah, the first race was nothing much happened. Second race, it was very argy-bargy. I ended up at the back, unfortunately. But of course, I fluked the pole. So yeah, all in all, a really nice evening. And of course, to top it all off, I've entered a new team lately called Hesketh Racing with Mark Johnson. So I think it's only right for me to take the first win for the team, really.
I think Mark was right in the thick of the action as well, especially in race 2. He was
He
pulling off.
was, yeah. He was bragging, saying he was going to win the race, but no, it didn't quite happen.
As
How are you joking?
Hesketh Racing, is he providing the condom branding, or is that your department?
Yeah, I heard him talk about me last time. That was quite condescending. I'm much more of a charmer than he.
Hey, well,
But,
you'd be
yeah.
charming everybody with the bubbly, I think, after that one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're going to get the champagne out now, for sure.
Champagne
An online
and
rating, Wayne. I mean, gosh, it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Oh, well, you've got to keep up the traditions of Hesketh, surely, with all that business
mate.
going on.
Absolutely. Anyway, yeah, it was lovely to win the race, and it's nice that Mark's got in the team with me, and Drive Doctor's sponsoring the team. So yeah, it's going really well. So.
Well, next
Great
week's
stuff. Well,
yeah,
Sorry, yeah, you were saying, where is it next week?
I'm Rock.
Oh dear. Yes.
I literally hate Lime Rock, but I mean, hey, I've just won, so I can't complain.
On cloud
Hey,
9.
if you get a reverse grid pole there, Adam, I think you're laughing, aren't you?
I'm laughing. I don't know about Nathan. Are you laughing? Well,
No, I'm almost 80% certain to fire it off on the first corner in Lime Rock every single lap. So
it depends which configuration we're using. If we're using the chicanes, then yeah, not sure.
I've seen that new track. I've literally never driven it. So, but
I'll-
anyway, I best leave you guys to it. Thanks for the interview,
Oh, no problem.
I hope you have a great evening.
Oh yeah, get some cream on those scones. The cream has risen to the top, you could say, Nathan.
Oh.
Well done.
Excuse the pun.
That's appalling. I'll let you go before I do any more damage. Well done today. And
I'm Scon.
There you go. All the best.
Damn, he stole my joke. That was the next thing out of my mouth. But never mind. Nathan Davis with another win, and he does show Adam time and time again that you put him at the front of the race with no chance to crash into anyone, and he'll probably win the race for you.
Well, there you go. It's the joys of the reverse grid, really, and just as yourself know, at Montreal a couple of years ago with the reverse grid, if you get to the front and can run your own race without having to worry about the threats behind you, then you stand a good chance of winning. In fact, I know that as well.
To be fair, my win was very similar to the one of Davis tonight, really, except I think, Ash Sutton was flying when he got into second place. He was really just reeling him in, and you can see by Nathan's times he's probably getting a little bit nervous, as he said. But yeah, I was helped by sort of a couple of accidents and a couple of slower cars being immediately behind me. I managed to build about a 7-second lead and kept it, I think, to 5 at the end. So yeah, it was a very similar race, really, and Davies will be very happy with his performance, I'm sure. We're going to see if we can get hold of Ben Gregory, I think. Let me just see if I can go and grab him. Well, Ben Gregory joins us now in the commentary box. Ben, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
It's very quiet, mate. It's very, very quiet. Try again.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, there he is. Former AM champion, Ben Gregory. Must seem like quite a long time ago, but we've had some very good results today. Second place, in fact, in race 2.
A couple of years, I think, since I've been in this series, even when it was back under a different name. But yeah, that was the sweatiest I've been, not including the heat. It was bloody good race.
It looked like it was a lot of fun out there, and really defending was kind of the order of the day for you in race 2. Would you say? I'd say it's a fairly reasonable track to defend on this one, but you still have to be precise and you still have to not leave any spaces, really.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to use every trick I had in the book, honestly, to keep Dave behind. And I know how quick he is, and it's like holding back the sea.
Yeah, he was trying very, very hard as well. Don't see him pushing for the overtakes quite as much as that normally, but we head to Lime Rock Park next week, and Well, we said that one's probably going to be very, very tough indeed, given the close proximity of everybody. Might have to deal with some lap traffic as well, potentially. Is that something you're looking forward to the challenge of, that circuit?
I think I'm honestly going to use the AI to practice on that track because it's crazy. I struggle with that track in any car, honestly, but I might be that lap traffic, I think, from how to practice.
Well, yeah, and as Adam was saying, it depends which layout we're going to run. You're running as an independent this year. Is there any plans of joining a team in the near future, or are you just sort of turning up and seeing what happens?
Latter, yeah. I've missed a series, so I thought, oh, I'll give it a go again. So, and it also gives me a chance to paint some cars. So.
Well, you must have been happy with the bubbly.
Oh yeah. I have some beer downstairs. I might actually go and enjoy.
There you go. Go and do that. Well, thank you very much, mate, for joining us. It's been quite a long time since we've had you in the box, so we're very happy to do so. And yeah, we'll see you hopefully in the next one. Maybe after you've survived Lime Rock Park.
I'm gonna need it. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. There we go then. And well, I think that's just about all we got time for, Adam. But yeah, again, we come to Sonoma, and I think we always get pleasantly surprised. I think we underestimate how good these races are going to be.
Yeah, we don't come here often enough, really. It's been definitely a while since we came here in this series, and yeah, we've been served up an absolute treat here. Throughout most of the evening, the intervals were orange and red, meaning less than a second between each driver. And even though race 2 and race 3, the win was quite comfortable for Nathan Davis and Michael Evdoka, everybody else was scrapping for their lives for second on back. So I'm sure we'll see more of the same at Lime Rock Park. It's probably the shortest lap of the whole season. I wonder if we might even get under a minute lap times around there. Not too sure.
It should be under a minute, yeah, with the power of these cars. I reckon it will be.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I think it depends as well which layout we use. I think if we use the one with all the chicanes in it, I don't know if we will get under a minute, but if we get the, I think we probably will though. And you said this was one of the shortest laps of the season. Well, if anybody tunes in next week, they're going to love that. It's going to be almost like an oval race, but just a lot of right-handers. Okay, well, thanks to everybody for joining us on the iRacing Esports Network tonight. Tune in once again next week, same time, same place, for the aforementioned race at Lime Rock Park. So, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Adam Bath, and from Sam Kumo, we wish you a very good night and a fond farewell. Good night.